I'll awkwardly ask you questions and then you less awkwardly answer them, right? That's the game plan. So like, we should start with how'd you guys meet?
Josh and I actually were in high school together for about a year. It's going really well. We reconnected in the second year of NYU Film School.
Josh and I met on the first day of class, and we started making shorts together, and then we ran into Antonio on the street, and we basically spent a year trying to make a feature that never happened, and that's how we developed our relationship. And then after that feature fell through, we continued through school, and that's when we just started really making short films.
That's interesting to me, because I would think most people who try to make a feature that doesn't happen are going to flee from each other. You guys formed a collective, so why did you decide to do it this way instead of branching out as individuals?
What happened after the feature was that we then made a short film for no money, and we did everything that was the complete opposite of what we were trying to do with the feature.
Yeah, like we were trying to make $1 million feature, and we were way in over our heads, and then the complete reaction to that was, let's make a short for under $1,000.
Go back to the basics.
We always just saw it as the only way. Like, we all knew we wanted to make films the way we wanted to make them, and so we developed this system to support each other to do that. And filmmaking is very difficult financially, emotionally, and we sort of had the foresight to know that we couldn't do it alone, and we sort of needed that support.
I feel like the image might be like, for people watching something like this, would be like, oh yeah, like I'll come out of school, I'll meet my friends, we'll form a cool art collective. Like, has there ever been a situation where it's like, I'm just homeless, like I need to sleep on your couches? Like, what's the most grim it gets? Because I feel, to me, being a creative person in New York, there's this romantic vision, but the reality sucks.
I remember, almost all of college, I lived in my mother's couch in a one bedroom. We were trying to stay up all night, trying to email like record labels and commercial houses and try to get work, but no work, and just email them like the middle of the night, like just hundreds and hundreds of emails. It's not fucking insane. And I used to be so stressed, and like I didn't have any money, and my mother kept telling me, get a job. Like, where am I gonna get jobs? I don't know, fucking Starbucks or farm. I'm like, Mom, I'm going to NYU. I'm not going to the farm. Someone's got to pay your loans.
That reminds me of when I got into a similar debate with one of my ex-girlfriends, and she's like, why don't you just like try and get another job on the side? And I was like, what? Like, what am I gonna do? And literally the thing she said was, you can go work on the dock. There's stuff that we did
that we will never
tell anyone that we did.
Oh, I can relate to that. Yeah.
and it's funny because I have a hard drive, and I found some shit that we did, and.
Oh, you mean like creatively?
Yeah, like.
Oh, I thought you meant like life decisions.
It was like, you take jobs. These aren't.
Right.
They weren't like snuff films. They weren't killing anybody, but they're you're just doing stuff, and you're like, in the moment you're just doing it so you can get some money, and you don't have to put your name on it, but
sometimes it's a dark adventure.
Yeah, it all in some way is a good story, or at least you're doing something within the same area.
As long as that doesn't become your life.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know, it's like this weird drive. It's like, okay, it's just like having this like blind belief that it's going to get better.
Like, I've had so many moments where I'm like, I would love to quit what I do, but I don't have anything to put on a resume at this point. Like, I've backed myself to a corner. It must be nice to constantly have two other people who are like, no, shut up, keep going. It has to be the best thing.
I think our success has been an incremental kind of success. And I think that in some ways that's made us, I think it's made us stronger, and and it's like allowed us to develop our voices gradually, and also allowed us to go down different roads and experiment more.
I also think that those restrictions that we had, like when we were in school, like really helped the short films. Like when we were in school, a lot of people were making like $50,000 shorts, and we couldn't do that. So we said, what do we have? We scraped together as much as we could get, and then like with the first 2 shorts that Antonio did, that we all did together, we're by it now in the last 15, he basically put restrictions on himself, being like, we're going to set it in one place, it's going to be this many actors, and that's all. I'm going to make something that's simple, a stripped down script, and those were the films that took off. It gave us restrictions, but the restrictions just suit what makes a good short film. Something simple, quiet, and just creating a moment and an atmosphere.
Yeah, I mean that's what you're trying to teach yourself as a filmmaker, and that's also what people want to see that you can do. When we were at Cannes with Buy It Now, Buy It Now was the last film in a program with 18 short films, and literally every short film that came on before us was like epic. I mean, it was like shot 35 and like
projected
in foreign countries and like there was explosions.
There was one with like 18 helicopters.
Yeah, and these guys, the filmmakers would get up and making these like impassioned speeches before their short film.
Yeah.
And then comes our short film, which is shot in digital video, like DV cam. At one point, you see a boom come into the frame and leave.
Because we had never seen it projected.
Yeah.
We didn't know that when you project it, it takes off the mat on the sides.
So
It's like the most intense moment of the film.
And the boom comes in, and then the guy leaves, and the boom goes out. And I sunk in my seat. I was like, this is it. And then when we were at the award show, I mean, we didn't think we were gonna get anything. And they announced third place, and it was like two winners.
Yeah.
And then it was a tie, and then second place, it was a tie between two other films, and I looked at Sean and I was like, well, at least we got a free trip to Europe out of this. And then they announced Buy It Now won first prize. There were a lot of good films in that program, but like there were, as rough and as lo-fi as Buy It Now was, there was something really different about it and special.
Just want to sit and talk for a while.
All right.
Okay. You are 18, Chelsea, right?
Yeah.
Great. Great.
Like we had made a film entirely on our own with really no expectation that it would ever achieve anything in a way that was pretty experimental. And in getting into Cannes after being literally rejected from every single festival. I mean, you probably applied to 35 festivals,
I could
40
have made a wallpaper out of the rejection letters.
And Cannes was the first, after 8 months of applying, it was the first festival I got into, so that was validation. But then to win something, it's like, you can't hang everything on winning awards, but it was that we did it exactly how we wanted to do for no one else, for nobody else, and people responded to it, and that was like this great way to sort of start working. Is like you have to do something that moves you.
After you won, like, were you hanging out with all these other filmmakers who had poured money into their
Yes.
Are you hanging out with a guy who's like, I rented 18 fucking helicopters? Like, there's got to be some rage-filled young European directors, right?